Assalamu alaikum, Majid bhai. What's your controversial call?
Salam, Talha. So I wanted to talk about this concept where we focus a lot first on who is God. Obviously, God is important to us in our life. I think over 60, 70% of the world's population believes in a God. So we are focused on who is God before understanding what is God, meaning what is the concept of God? What does it mean when we say God, right? So that I wanted to talk about that today.
Okay, and what do you think? What's the concept of God?
So at the University of Waterloo about 20 years ago, I'd say about 2004, 2005, there was a theologian. I think he was a professor, but I know he was a theologian. And he came to do a talk about uh, deism, like believing in faith in God. And he spoke about what is God, the definition of God, not who is God, not his characteristics. Uh, what is God, the concept from a human philosophical standpoint. And the definition he gave is that God is your ultimate concern, whatever it is. Whatever your ultimate concern is, that is your God. Because by definition, God, if He created all of us and this entire universe and everything that exists in it, He has to be our ultimate concern from a logical standpoint, if a God exists. So if your business is your ultimate concern, then that is your God. If your children are your ultimate concern, then they are your gods. If your parents are your ultimate concern, meaning ultimate meaning above everything else, you can have your business below the creator. You can have your parents below the creator. You can have your children below the creator. But if they are above your creator, then God is not your creator. It is actually whatever your ultimate concern is. For some people, hobbies like jigsaw puzzles, train sets, miniature houses, uh, other sports, Arsenal, Manchester United, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer. These are their ultimate concerns. They will study the lives of these people. They will spend all of their waking moments researching it, doing it, learning about it, practicing it. If that is the ultimate concern over the creator, then that is their God.
And I know this might sound a bit childish, but in its simplest form, it's one of those things when a lot of American TV shows and movies they say, God, money is the ultimate god.
Just a quick point on that money. You brought it up, money. So, do you know when GDP became a measure of a country's success? GDP is globally considered the ultimate KPI, key performance indicator of a country's success. GDP was only brought or introduced as a measure of a country's success in the late 1800s. The world has been around for much before that.
Definitely.
If we look at the Bible and so on and so forth, we're looking at 30,000, 60,000 years since we know of humans' existence and prophets' existence and so on. Only 150 years ago was gross domestic product, GDP, brought in as part of capitalist philosophy that the defining system of our countries is democracy and capitalism. So GDP, measuring money, gross domestic product, monetary terms, only came in as a measure of success of a country in the late 1800s. Now they're going back into Human Development Index as a better measure, which is a broad encompassing study about the education, health, livelihoods, culture, access to business, much more broader KPIs to measure a country's success. In fact, the HDI was invented or conceptualized by a Pakistani economist working for the UN. So it's the United Nations Human Development Index. Even though Pakistan is one of the lowest performers on the HDI, the founder, the inventor of the HDI is a Pakistani economist.
Sounds interesting. So I want to get back to back to the controversial the call that you made, and the reason it's interesting is yes, we do talk about a lot of times who is God, and where is God, but never the what. So yeah, and I think also what is one of those questions is the three W's or the three questions: how, why, when, what. So what is I think the most underrated of the four. People ask their why, people ask their how, people ask their when uh, they want to do it. But I think it's what is the most underrated question that a lot of people don't ask themselves. And I remember when we were having our conversation before, and we were talking about what's important and what's not important. And I had this session a long time back where they, okay, what's important to you is what gets you closer to your vision, and that's important. And the only thing that defines your vision is your God. So if your God is the creator, for example, in our case, Allah is God for us, and if that's our vision, so anything closer to him gets us closer to him is important for us. And I think that helps us define that. So if your family or your business is your God, and your vision is then related to your God, anything that gets you closer, may that be ethical or unethical, maybe even, that might be important to you.
Yeah, for sure. See, Talha, um, the dissatisfaction is so prevalent across the world, right? Rates of depression are going up, rates of anxiety are going up, rates of satisfaction in the workplace, dissatisfaction in the workplace are going up, right? Job losses due to AI. Everything seems to be, it seems not that everything in the world is wrong. No, it's not all doom and gloom, right? There's more food available for people generally in the world now, less famine and so on. But in terms of mental health and spiritual fulfillment and so on, these things are generally on a downward decline, right? So the question should be asked, why are we so dissatisfied and depressed and anxious, right? The understanding of God, first, what is God? Once you realize what is God, then who is God and what does he want from us, if anything, is the most important endeavor that a human being can undertake in life. Because you will be seeking till the end. If we believe that everything will be known to us after our heart stops beating, after our pulse stops, is the only time we will actually find out. No one can say that they have seen the different realm, right? No one sees the different realm and comes back. So the only time we will know the reality is when our heart stops beating, right? When we're gone. So the chase and the seeking of the reality of the world, whether this is all material, physical, and we are just like animals, a little bit more intellectually. Like some people can say, according to Darwin and everything, that we are just a little more of an intellectual species of ape or animal, right? So we will find out when we die, every individual will find out whether we died and it's gone, nothing else. There's no more experience left. There's no soul, for example. Or we will find out that, oh, we had a soul and that the clues were hidden in the world. It's like a game almost. Like, I don't watch a lot of these shows and stuff, but like Hunger Games and all this, why are they so appealing to humans? They're the top selling, top rated shows because life is actually like a game. You have these hidden clues, you have these scriptures, these people come and they say that they were spoken to by God. Now you have to figure out, is it true or is it not? It's like a game, right? So the best endeavor when you play a game, like I like to play sports, competitive sports, paddle and so on. Basically, what you're doing is the you are focusing on trying to figure out to the best possible ability the clues and the game. Most people are not doing that. They're not treating it like an activity where let's try to figure this out. They're just going like go with the flow. Whatever comes to you, you take it, you eat it, you go here, you go there, you travel. But it's not like let's try to figure out the patterns.
I get it, and I think that's one of the more interesting takes, and one of the more controversial takes that people have had. It's usually been business, business, business that I've been talking to people about. But I think that this is one of the more important questions because it aligns uh, on a personal level, and then also it sets up a person's uh, values and how they conduct themselves with other people. And I think that's one of the most important things of business. Because I was talking today with a client of mine, and when they asked me, how are you going to measure these things? Because uh, I'm working with some people in the unorganized sector, retailers and all. So it's like 90% of business is based on trust. And the way that you trust people is how your self belief and your uh, system of values is set up. So I think that's a good take you have. It encompasses everything these days. Um, so I think if no further thing to add, this is where we're going to end it.
I think one last point to take away with the concept of what is God is that we know that people, human beings who believe in something bigger than themselves, which is basically the method of controlling the ego. The, the biggest issue that humans have is ego. I'm better, I know more, I've done this, I've done that from this family, I was born here, I was born there. Imagine 200 countries and everyone is saying their country is the best. How is that possible? That's what happens, right? If you're from Pakistan, you say Pakistan is the best. You're from Canada, you say Canada is the best. The Americans will say American, UK, Europe, Nigeria, the list goes on. Everyone says we're the best. It's not possible. So this is related to the ego. When one understands the concept of what is God and who is God, the ego starts to disappear because God is so vast and supreme. And that is the ultimate way of success for a human, is to overcome their own ego. The philosophers wrote the same thing. So this is, again, according to me, the most important endeavor a person can undertake is is understanding what is God and who is God. Everything else is easy.
Definitely. I think a lot to think about, and I think that's good. That was one of the things when, and I think I mentioned it to you when I started controversial these calls, and I didn't want it to be a podcast. I wanted it to be small bits where the person could just share what they feel like and what they think about, and then we could talk about it offline or on comments or something like that. So hopefully this gets sometimes the ball rolling.